Hi, it's Liz. And I have oatmeal in my teeth. I just ate, I did my long walk of errands today. Um, and I didn't eat breakfast before I did it. And it takes a while. It's like 5 minutes. And I got like the equivalent of like 4 city blocks, maybe 4.5. And then I realized I was wearing the wrong shorts. So I had to come back, and then I went again, and I had already walked Josephine to the gas station, so I did a lot of walking today. Oh, and then I was picking at my face, that's why it's so red. So Liz, what's what's the point? I wanted to talk about not being perfect about wearing my mask, and like I'm not a perfect mask, like respirator mask in public spaces where there is a public space that I go to on a regular basis where I don't wear my mask. I know, you know. It's the pool at the apartment complex that we are staying at, and even at the old apartment complexes where I've lived with my kid, since 2020. When we go to the pool, I don't wear a mask. It's the only that's the only place that I go where I don't wear a mask. Also, there's a place I skate where I don't wear my mask, and it's outside, and it's a business. But I go after business hours, and I don't I've seen a couple of people there a couple of times, and it's because I went too early, and now I won't go that early. But I go there when none of the places are open, and um, it's not like a thoroughfare. People don't usually walk through that area to get to somewhere else. It's pretty it's there's usually nobody there. So I don't wear my mask when I skate there, and I don't wear my mask when I go to the pool with my kid, because it's hard enough for her having a mom who wears a mask. Like it's you know um, it's not safe. You know what I mean? I should be wearing my mask at the pool, but I don't wear my mask at the pool because um, I don't want my kid to feel like any more of a pariah than she already does with me as her mom. To be quite frank, that's basically the reason that I don't wear a mask at the pool. I just want us to have one fucking thing that's as adjacent to normal as possible, and that's the the thing, you know. Um, and if I try to spend most, sit away from people, as much as possible, and then also I'll sit I'll sit on the edge of the pool because being that close to the chlorine water, does help with the it's your it brings the likelihood of transmission down. It does not nullify it in any way, shape, or form, but it does bring it down, and it is outdoors. And outdoors does not mitigate transmission either. I wear my mask when I'm walking. I wear my mask when I'm skating in public spaces, especially like a school, or my bestie, the church parking lot. I wear a mask when I'm skating there because it is a thoroughfare, or it's a place where people walk to get from like a point A to a point B on a regular basis. Um, and it's it's a church parking lot, backed up to a library parking lot, even though that library isn't open anymore. But all that to say, it's a very public use space, right? So I will always wear my mask there, and I will always wear my mask if I'm skating at an elementary school with a playground or whatever, because there's always the possibility, even if I get there and there's nobody there, right? Somebody could show up there at any moment, and somebody could have just left there, and I, instead of oh, let me put it right on, and then somebody leaves and I take it off, and then I just wear the whole time because it's a public space and I should be acting like as responsibly as possible in that public space as I can, you know. And not wearing my mask at the pool here, I do realize that it puts me in danger and it puts other people in danger. Like, what if I've got COVID and I'm, you know, taking my, or another, you know, transmissible illness. What if I'm spreading my, you know, illness to other people, and I do take that into consideration, and I do make the decision that it is, in this specific instance, it is, like, it's the one thing that I'm not, like, I'm just taking on that risk because to me it's worth it for me and Josephine's, like, nervous systems, and just, like, to just feel as adjacent to normal as possible for when we go to the pool, you know, so she can have that like outside of the room, because we just live in a room basically, you know. We have a place we can go outside of the room where she can feel like normal, you know, it's me and her at the pool, like, we, you know, and not the, you know, the mom who's always talking about masks and capitalism, and who's, like, ostracized by society because, you know, Josephine feels like Josephine lives in a world where her favorite person in the world is hated by everybody else that says, like, that, by, like, the normalized world, you know, like, yes, her dad has a house in her school district and an extended family, but and, you know, that stuff's supposed to make her feel safe, you know what I mean? And he takes her to school and he signs her up for activities. But, like, every single part of that world that he has created, by design of him creating it, hates my fucking guts and pretends that I'm dead, and pretends that me being homeless and me being discarded and abandoned is just normal, and that's normal human behavior. And I'm her mom, and she loves me, and I am her safest space in this world. Like, as whatever, as, you know, however much money and status or whatever as he has, my child nervous system feels safer close when she's close to my body than it feels with him and all of his stuff, you know. So I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect, man. I'm just trying to make it out of this, or endure this forever long as I have to, you know what I mean? Like, as like, with me and my little's heart as intact as humanly fucking possible. I'm not trying to be perfect, man. I'm just trying to be alive. And also, like, that idea of the where, like, well, I'm not gonna wear, there's this thing that is capitalism adjacent, isn't everything, but of course, but, you know, when we, well, I'm not, it's this idea, like, well, if I can't wear a mask in every space that I go to, I'm not going to wear one at all. You know, I can't wear a mask in the pool, so I might as well never put a mask on because I can't wear it in the pool. You know, there is this kind of thing that we do in this society where if a working logic model, a logic model that works, right? If we find a small, you know, a situation in which that logic model does not work, but it works in so many others, we'll throw out the whole logic model because it doesn't work in this small one. Like, you know, if I get a mask wet in the pool, then it's ineffective, so I'm not going to wear a mask when I'm not in the pool, you know. Like, we'll do that in this society because we just, the overreaching logic model is capitalism, whiteness, ideology, and patriarchy. It is like, you know, whatever the rich old white man said, you know. So we'll throw out lots of things that actually make sense in order to align ourselves with the logic model of indoctrination, you know, which is not logical at all, just whatever, you know, whatever we're supposed to do in the death cult. Wage slavery, relational violence. We're all criminals. um, hmm. um, and so perfectionism is one, you know, program, you know, brain setting, I don't know, whatever, you know, methodology, whatever, that we use to, you know, if I can't do it perfect, then I can't do it at all, then it's not, then I'll just, like, not do it in any way, shape, or form. And that's just not, that's how we, keep ourselves held back from a lot of things. Like, if you can't wear a mask 100% of the time, then you're not going to do it at all. Maybe just wear it to the grocery store and the doctor's office. Like, that just, like, the fact that we stopped wearing them in the doctor's office will never not blow my mind. Like, what? And that's a huge indicator of the dominant logic model of this society being indoctrination into capitalism and not, like, science-based facts. Because if you are a doctor, you know enough about COVID to know that we should all be wearing masks in health settings. And because the dominant logic model in this society is capitalism, whiteness, ideology, and patriarchy, we can just throw out facts and science that we are, like, and interacting with on a daily basis. We can throw them out when they're not convenient to our, you know, indoctrinated current, you know, line of thinking, school of thought, party line, you know, what everybody else is doing. COVID isn't real. Black people hang themselves from trees. Cops are not criminals. You know, CPS isn't a child trafficking organization. You know, capitalism doesn't kill people, and poor people deserve to die. You know what I mean? Yay, America, 'cause we're the best. We've really got to continue. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyways, we've really got to deal with the legacy of chattel slavery because it's taking us the fuck out. I'll tell you that much. Relationally. People aren't property, and you can't steal someone else's destiny. You can't be anybody other than you. Like, the fact that we think we can fucking get in our little secret clubs and fucking I'm gonna do this to this person and that to that person and that to that person because we can and we will and we are. Bitch, that's fucking slavery shit. That's enslaver talk. The whole big part of chattel slavery that we don't talk about is this idea of, like, white slave owning people being like, Bill, Ted. I don't know why I use those names, but you know, like, hey, hi-ho, neighbor, we are upstanding citizens, and we are doing this because, you know, these enslaved Africans need our help, and we are pious, hardworking, good people. Yes, yes, yes. And then at night they get together and fucking have weird sex rape parties where they eat people and force their enslaved captives to eat each other, to do weird shit. Like, this shit is sick. Alright? A Diddy party is a slave party. Okay? This shit is slavery. What you're doing in your little club is slavery. You're just cosplaying slave owners. Get it? Ew. And that's not gross to y'all? Like, that's babe. Ew. If nothing else. Ew. Anyways. Okay. It's just the legacy of chattel slavery. All this shit is just the legacy of chattel slavery. It's not cool. It's not fucking spycraft. You're not fucking, you're not cool. It's not cool. It's not cool. I did not mean for this video to be a tangent about this, but it is not cool. And whatever weird shit, whatever you think you're doing, it's just unspeakable cruelty, and it's just self-abandonment. Y'all are the real NPCs out here. Do you get that? Wanting to be in someone else's skin, wanting to be someone else. That's not possible. And some entity getting you to believe that and then sacrifice your own knowing and your own personality and your own story and your own life and your own soul in pursuit of somebody else's isn't real. That's why you can't create anything. That's why you can't make anything. That's why you're not inspired. That's why you feel so dead inside, because you are, because you had to sacrifice yourself and to even think that you could control somebody else's, like, destiny or will or anything like that. Like, you're not that. Who are you? Dead ass. And you don't know, and that's the problem. And no pursuit of somebody else's destiny is going to bring you closer to knowing that. Duh. With your slave owner logic. You can't fucking outsource your own shadow work. You fucking, like, y'all be annoying the shit out of me. Sorry, but truly. Whole society is built on just trying to fucking hot potato with your own fucking, like, lack of self-worth. It sucks here because of that. So I think we should work on that. Anyways, I'm probably going to take another nap. Okay. That's quite the tangent. Bye.